Hi,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. What about you?
I'm very good, thank you. And how do I say your name?
My name is Juan.
Juan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Ayala.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind. There are many mosquitoes. I just need uh to spray. Is that okay?
Okay.
They are biting me.
Okay.
Okay. Now you have a dog?
Yeah, I have three dogs.
A few?
A few? Yeah.
Nice. And where are you from?
I'm from Mexico.
And you're in Mexico now?
Yeah, I'm in Mexico now.
Which part?
Which part? Do you know some cities in Mexico?
I mean, I've been to Mexico, but I've been
Okay.
to Baja and I've been to like Riviera Maya, Akumal, you know,
Okay,
Tulum.
I'm living in Monterrey.
Okay. So I flew to Monterrey. Like I went
Mm-hmm.
from Tijuana to Monterrey to Cancun.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
down and in the middle.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's very close to Texas, very close to the US.
Yeah. And what do you do?
What do you do for
What do
work?
you do for work? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a software engineer.
Nice.
Mhm.
And so, do you use English a lot with your work, or is this something you're
Actually,
doing for yourself?
no, this is it's just myself. I'm practicing because my level or my fluency is not the best. I'm improving my fluency.
That's good. And like, are you doing it because you want to travel, or you want to, what are the reasons behind you wanting to improve?
First, because I want to know the language. I want to learn the language. I want to maybe search a promote in my current job or maybe
Yeah,
change my current job. I don't know. It depends. But that's one of my goals this year.
that's really good. And so, how long have you been using Cambly?
6 months.
And so, can you already see the big improvement from when you started to now? Like, are you noticing a big difference?
I hope so.
Because I think your English is good, but I always want like when you're obviously my English is British, so I
Hmm.
speak with a British accent.
I
So
know.
normally when I speak to people in Latin America, like the South
Hmm.
America area, they sometimes when I speak English, they're like, it's not as easy because I
Hmm.
say things with a British accent rather than with the American pronunciation, you
Hmm.
know. But I think it's I English is English. I think so long as people
Exactly.
understand what you're saying,
Hmm.
you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, actually I have different tutors in different parts of the world, but I like your accent. I like your accent. The British accent I think is like wonderful. I
Yeah.
like the sound of some words.
When I lived in America, um they whenever I would go to a restaurant and
Hmm.
I don't eat tomatoes. So
Okay.
every time I would go to a
Okay.
restaurant, I was like, "Oh, and no tomato." And they're like, "Oh my God, do you really say tomato?" Like, "Oh my God, say it again."
Yeah, I
Tomato.
know.
You know? But
Yeah.
yeah, I always found that very interesting.
My my favorite words are water, or you say
Of course,
different.
water, yep,
Water, a bottle,
bottle. Yeah, it's I think
tomato, potato,
yeah, but we say
those.
potato. We actually
Uh-huh.
say potato, but it's we say tomato, bottle water. It's the biggest, like when, again, I would be in a restaurant and I'd be like, oh, can I have some water? Like, pardon? Like, water? Pardon?
Mhm.
I'm like, water? Like, oh, yeah, sure, water. I'm like,
Sorry, one question. Why you said pardon? Pardon?
pardon
Just
is like, excuse me.
okay. Could you type for me, please?
Yeah.
Okay, this is English.
Yeah. So it's English, but we like pardon would be like, excuse me, or can you
S-
say it again?
Okay, sound like French.
Yeah, pardon. It does sound French. Maybe it comes from French, but we use it in English because we
Okay,
would
I
say,
didn't know.
like if you are trying to, British people can be very polite. And so, like, if you were trying to move around somebody, you would say, pardon me,
Okay,
or excuse me, pardon
excuse
me.
me.
Yeah. But I'm not English, so I have an English accent,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not English by birth. So
Okay,
I'm originally from Israel, but
okay.
I went to school in England. So I lived in England for 14 years.
Wow,
So I have a very
that's
English
why
accent.
you're accent.
Yeah, I have a very, very English accent. And
Okay,
my family still lives there. So my sisters and my parents.
okay. That's so cool.
And what about you? So like all of your family are in Monterrey, or are you from a different part of Mexico?
No, I am living with my wife here in Monterrey, but my parents they are living in other part of Mexico. Maybe do you know? Maybe you know Hidalgo. Hidalgo is in the center. It's very
Okay.
close to Mexico City,
Okay. Is it south of Mexico City?
south. Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's other
And
state, but it's close next to.
and do you and your wife have any children?
We don't have children. My wife, fortunately, she is pregnant, and we're happy for them.
She's pregnant now?
Mm-hmm.
And how many months?
2 months.
And how do you feel? Are you nervous, excited? Every,
Nervous, excited, a lot of things, a lot of feels.
yeah, it's exciting. And how long have you been married?
Uh, Almost 3 years.
That's cool. So like
Two and a
you
half, 2.5 years actually.
2.5. And where did you meet?
Where, where?
Where? Yes.
Okay. Mm, we worked at the same place for a while.
Okay. And
Uh-huh.
then saw each other. Was like, was,
Yeah.
and your wife is still working now, so she'll work until
Sh-
she has the baby.
No, she's working. She's still working, and
Yep.
maybe she will stay working for a few months, more for a few more months. Yeah.
Yep. I
Hmm.
say my best friend is pregnant now with her second baby, and
Okay.
she is 7.5 months now. And her
Wow.
last day of work is she finishes work in 3 days, um,
Okay.
and then she's like, enough. Like she because they have a little boy, she wants to have a little bit. When she was pregnant with her first one, she worked until 5 days before she had the baby. Where
Okay.
now she wants to have like some time, with her oldest son and time to prepare. And, I think she's also really big. Like the second baby is like huge
Wow.
compared to the
Uh-huh.
first baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you have children?
Me, no. Like it's
Okay.
it's not for me.
Okay, okay, okay.
Like, but my boyfriend, but I'm lucky because my boyfriend also feels the same. We like to travel and go
Okay.
scuba diving and have no commitment, like,
Commitment?
yeah, like I really want a dog, but it's too much responsibility,
Okay, I got it.
so to have a child is too much responsibility,
Yeah,
too much commit. Like, I I need to have more money.
exactly.
It's not cheap.
It's not
And
cheap.
but you're
That's
going to
true.
do it now. It's exciting.
Yeah, fortunately, we have a house. We are paying this house. Uh, Before, when I was single,
Hmm.
I bought a house as well, but
Okay.
I'm paying. How you say? I'm still
Mo-
paying
So
it.
you have a mortgage.
What's mean mortgage?
Mortgage is when you take money from the bank and then you pay the bank each month.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hipoteca in
So
Spanish.
mortgage is what we refer when we're paying for a house.
Yeah, we are paying both mortgage
So you
for.
have for the two houses,
Yeah, exactly.
but
I'm
you
renting my first
okay,
house. Yeah,
you rent it. So they pay the mortgage for you, and then
actually.
that's the best way. That's because my boyfriend has a house in Australia and he lives in it now because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2 months, he's gonna not move to Indonesia because he works in Australia, but he will rent the house for
Okay.
somebody else to pay the mortgage. And
Okay.
then because he works for 3 weeks and then has 1 month off work. So 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Okay.
When he's not working, he'll come to Indonesia.
Okay. Yeah, my house. I'm renting that house, but the money that I am receiving from that house is not enough. But I pay just a little bit from
Okay.
me.
But and is it because like, can you ask for more money for the rent or you think they wouldn't pay?
For example, this is just an example.
Okay.
I need to pay for 400, for example,
Yeah.
USD, and they are paying me. I said 4 or 5.
4.
4. Okay. They pay me 300. 300. So
Okay.
I need
So
to pay just 100.
you don't have to pay a lot, but it would be better if you have to pay nothing, you know?
Exactly. I
But
know.
we will have to do the same with the house in Australia. Like sometimes, like the mortgage, what you have to pay back, it's more than what somebody's happy to pay. But then do you do you think that you will buy another house or just the two?
Uh, we have been thinking about it, but maybe not soon. Maybe
Yeah.
not soon because we are paying other like a small land. How do you say that?
Ah,
Just a part load.
a lot.
Um, yeah, load. Two loads.
Ah, okay.
Uh huh.
Two batches. So lots or batches.
Batches.
Yeah. But like when you say like a lot, you mean like you're paying
Uh
for
huh.
land?
Okay, batch exactly batch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bought two batch, and we are paying. We are
Okay.
paying.
But
We
did
need to
you
pay
buy
for
them
2 more
to
years.
build a house or
Just like an investment for like investor or investment.
yeah, investment?
Investment. Yeah.
That's
just
good
for that.
though. Sometimes I think it's good to have a little bit of something everywhere, because
Hmm.
then I think it's safer for your money.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
if you ever sell the first house, you can use that money to,
Yeah,
you know.
I I was thinking, or I have thinking. I have had thinking. How you say that? He
I
pensado.
have
One
been
second.
thinking.
I have been thinking in sell that house, but my wife, she told me that is not a good idea.
It's always a good idea to keep something for as long as you can to make the most
Exactly.
out of it. And how much longer do you have to pay for that house? How many more years?
6 years.
And then it's finished? Like you've paid?
No, no, no. One second. Could you repeat the question?
So how much longer do you have of the mortgage?
Okay, the mortgage is for 20 years.
And you've had it for 6 years.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And
14 years left.
2 years ago, I was paying like more.
Ah,
Yeah. So my doubt,
debt.
my debt is less.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But now you have a new house, you have like other things, so it's harder, you know?
Mm-hmm.
In like in Indonesia, because I'm living in Indonesia, in Bali,
Okay.
I can't have a mortgage, you know, because I'm a Westerner, you know. So if I want something, I have to pay immediately,
Okay.
you know, like
Okay.
so if I want a house, I have to pay for the house.
Wow.
But as a Westerner, we're not allowed to own land. Okay.
Okay.
So we have two choices. The first choice is that you will have somebody who is Indonesian who will co-sign, so like who will own the land with you. So it's yours, but it's in their name. So you have to trust them like 100%. Or the second option is you create a company, and
Uh-huh.
the company, you are allowed to own the company, and the company can own the land, but the land, so you know what freehold and leasehold is? So freehold means you own the land, okay? And
Okay.
leasehold means you rent, okay?
Okay.
So what happens is if you create a company, you can buy freehold land. But
Okay.
because you are not Indonesian, the land becomes leasehold, but you
Okay.
own it for 100 years. So 100 years, it's okay. If you
Okay.
sell it to an Indonesian, the land becomes freehold again.
Okay.
So as we call ourselves bule, so as a Westerner, we are never allowed to own anything, but we can have it for 100 years.
Okay. Maybe I understand more or less.
It's very complicated, like to, because I think in Mexico, like, can Americans come to Mexico and buy land?
Can you repeat that part, please?
Can Americans or Europeans come to Mexico and buy land?
Mm, no. No, no. You need to be a Mexican.
The same here in Indonesia.
Exactly.
Whereas
Yeah.
in England, I think anybody can buy land in England or buy a
Okay.
house. I think you just have to pay tax, or I think. I don't
But
know.
that's why for the uh, one second, Union European Union. How you say it?
Yeah, the European Union, because England now is not in the European Union.
Okay,
They left. Um,
okay,
I think 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I don't know. It took a very long time.
okay.
Uh,
Wow.
yeah, so now England is England. Well,
Okay.
Great United Kingdom, Great Britain. Um, whereas before it was part of Europe. But for me, England is still Europe, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not they don't pay the money to Europe anymore.
Wow. And what is the coin or the what is the word?
The money,
Currency? The yeah,
currency
currency.
currency is has always been the British pound sterling.
Ah, okay. In Spanish is libras esterlinas.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Libras
Esterlinas.
esterlinas. Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
It's but the so even when England was in the European Union, they never changed the money.
Okay.
Because the pound has always been very, very strong in the currency, in the
Mm-hmm.
exchange rate. And if they had gone to the euro, it would have dropped. So they
Okay.
didn't want the economy of England to be affected by changing the currency.
The value of the
Yeah.
pound sterling is better than a USD or
Oh,
euro.
yeah. Always more. So if I was to go, so I'll put now, uh, I'll do £10 on the
Mm-hmm.
currency. So I also have Mexican here. Yeah. So I don't know. You can see. So
Okay.
Australian got so £10 is worth 17 Australian,
Wow.
15 Canadian, 12, almost 13. Well, 12 USD, 11 euro,
Uh-huh.
and then in Mexican 244.
Wow.
Yeah, that's for £10. So and now it's weak. Like it, 1 year ago, it was much stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate money, but I like it when it's worth more because I lived in America for 2 years
Okay.
and I was like, oh, I've got so much money. And I didn't have a lot of money. I just thought I had a lot of money. And then I left and I'm like, oh, it's not so much. you know, it's not much at all. But
In
it's
Mexico, your money is more than your country.
yeah.
I think the value is more.
Yeah, like I think if but it depends because like it it looks like it's worth a lot of money, but if I was to go to Mexico, I don't know how much everything costs. Like when I was last in Mexico, I could get a room for very cheap. I could get the phone card for cheap, but you can also spend a lot of money because you think everything is cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
and I think it's the same living in Indonesia. Living in Indonesia can be cheap if you live the right way. But if you want to live with going out every night, going to restaurants all the time, it's expensive.
It's expensive.
We can all have um, a cheaper life if we're more sensible.
Sensible,
Sensible, yeah.
sensible, sensible. Okay, in Spanish it's the same.
It's the same.
Yeah,
Okay, so
but
sensible.
the pronunciation is different. It's sensible.
Sensible. I
Hmm.
like that. Sensible.
Yeah, you can say very well the words in Spanish.
I in Indonesian we when we some of the words we but so I think
Okay,
for me sometimes the pronunciation, but I don't know Spanish. I'm like, hola, ¿cómo
okay,
estás? Like, no, that's it. Muy
okay.
bien. Like, it's very bad.
Me
But
gustarían unos tacos. Can you ask for tacos?
no, I wish.
Okay.
How do I say it?
Mm, ¿Me das una orden de tacos?
Me
Or
está
you or you can say just quiero tacos.
quiero tacos.
Just that.
I was on Saturday. Went to a different part of Bali to my friends, and we went
Hmm.
to a Mexican. It's amazing. It's called Lola's Mexicana, and they do
Okay.
margarita and taco and
Wow.
quesadilla, and so good. But the margaritas are so cheap, like so cheap. So,
Okay.
but it was good. Happy hour. It was
Yeah.
good.
When you were in Mexico,
Mhm.
uh, how did you ask for anything?
A lot of the time where I was a lot of tourism, so everybody spoke English.
Okay.
'Cause
English.
I was in Tulum and Akumal because I went there for scuba diving. So it's the tourist places or Google Translate.
Okay. Okay.
But I really, really want to learn Spanish, but at the minute I'm learning Hebrew. So I speak Hebrew, but I'm learning to read and write in Hebrew. And then I want to make my Indonesian better. And then I'll go to Spanish eventually.
Wow.
But I'm, I'm like, you're very dedicated. You're learning English. Like, it takes a lot of time, you know?
Mm-hmm. I know.
And I think sometimes if there's too many languages, it's very easy to get confused.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I know.
So one at a time. I think it's better.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I enjoyed to talk with you.
Me too.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's been really.
Yeah.
I think your English is good. I think that the lessons have been. I don't know how good your English was before, but
Okay.
I enjoy listening. I think if you see me online again, I hope I get to see you because
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
nice.
I would like to ask you something.
Yes.
Yeah. Usually, I share my calls on my social media to
Mm-hmm.
invite people to use Cambly. I share the Cambly application and the tutor's profile.
Yeah.
Cambly says I need your consent, and I ask you if you agree.
Yes, it's okay. I hope.
Okay. What is your normal schedule?
So my
Which?
schedule is a little bit different each time because I also work in my other
Okay.
job.
Uh-huh.
But when I don't have work, I always try and do like the hours that I'm doing now. But when I know I have no work, I book my schedule for the week. But now I'm booking each day. Like I see what happens the next day and then I book hours.
For example, this week or the next week, in what time you will
I will
be
be
available?
available around this time.
Around this time.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
in the afternoon. So, but I'll put my schedule, and if you want, I can send you my schedule.
Okay. I'm agree with that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
So I can
yeah.
send you my schedule, and then you can see what days and hours, and if any of them suit you. Or you can message me and ask me, and I can book a reservation for you.
Okay, we don't have. Well, the time is up.
Really quick. Oh, it was so nice to meet you, Juan, and hopefully I'll see you again.
Okay, see you soon.